The room was tense before the debate even began. Cameras were locked in place, bright studio lights filled the stage, and millions of viewers were watching live from home. At the center of it all sat Donald Trump, a man known for dominating any room he walks into. But this time, the setting was different. This wasn't a rally crowd cheering his name. It was a live televised political forum filled with lawmakers, journalists, and political analysts. Just a few seats away sat Jasmine Crockett, and from the moment the cameras rolled, it was clear Trump had his attention on her. At first, everything followed the usual format. The moderator asked the opening question, focused on policy. Trump answered confidently. His voice was strong, his tone sharp, and he looked completely comfortable. But things shifted when the next question was directed at Crockett. As soon as her name was called, Trump leaned back in his chair and watched her carefully. Crockett began speaking calmly and clearly. There was no dramatic tone, no raised voice. She simply laid out her argument step by step, sticking to facts and policy points. Some people in the audience nodded along as she spoke. Trump's expression changed slightly. It was subtle, a tightening around the eyes, a small shake of the head, the kind of reaction that suggested he was preparing to jump in. But for the moment, he stayed quiet. When the moderator returned to Trump for a response, the atmosphere in the room shifted. Trump leaned forward, smiled slightly, and slowly said her name. Then he began questioning her experience. He challenged her understanding of the issue and suggested she might be out of her depth. His tone wasn't loud. It was controlled and calculated. But everyone in the room could feel that the debate was becoming personal. The camera cut to Crockett. She didn't react. No eye roll. No visible frustration. Just a calm expression as she listened. When it was her turn to respond, she addressed his comments point by point. Still calm. Still steady. No insults, no theatrics, just a methodical response. And that's when something interesting began to happen. The more measured Crockett became, the more animated Trump grew. He started trying to interject, first subtly, then more noticeably. The moderator stepped in to keep things orderly, but the tension was already building. What had started as a routine policy discussion was now turning into a direct face-off. Viewers at home could feel it. Then the moderator introduced the next segment, 3 direct questions for both participants. Short answers. No interruptions. The rules were clear. The first question went to Trump. He answered quickly and confidently, drawing applause from parts of the audience. The second question went to Crockett. Her response was clear and focused, earning applause as well. Then came the third question. At first, it sounded simple. Almost harmless. But within seconds, it would change the entire tone of the debate. The moderator asked whether political leaders should take responsibility when their public statements contribute to division, even if those statements energize their supporters. The room shifted. Everyone understood what the question was really about. The camera moved to Trump. He smiled again, the familiar confident smile, and began answering. He spoke about strength in leadership. He argued that strong leaders are often misunderstood and that critics and the media frequently twist their words. He said passion is sometimes mistaken for division. A few people applauded. Then he pivoted. Without naming anyone directly, he suggested that some politicians claim to support unity while secretly benefiting from outrage and criticism. The camera moved to Crockett. She listened quietly. When it was her turn, she began slowly. She agreed with one part of the question, that words matter, and that leadership carries influence. Then she paused. The room leaned in. Accountability, she said, isn't about strength or weakness. It's about consistency. Her voice remained calm. Instead of attacking Trump directly, she referenced documented public statements and moments where political rhetoric had intensified conflict instead of calming it. Everything she said was grounded in facts. Then she asked a single question. If division keeps happening around the same voice, she said, at what point does that voice take responsibility? The audience reacted. Not with shouting but with a noticeable shift. Murmurs spread through the room. Trump leaned forward, ready to respond, but the moderator reminded him of the no interruptions rule. For the first time that night, Trump seemed slightly thrown off rhythm. Crockett continued. She explained that real leadership isn't tested during calm moments. It's tested when emotions are high, and true strength, she argued, comes from lowering the temperature, not raising it. That line landed. You could see it in the audience. Trump pushed back when it was his turn again. He accused her of twisting his record and focusing on political sound bites instead of results. He began listing achievements and statistics. But there was a problem. The question wasn't about achievements. It was about accountability. And the more he avoided that point, the more noticeable it became. Crockett didn't interrupt him. She simply waited. When she was offered a brief follow-up response, she used just a few words. This isn't about success, she said calmly. It's about responsibility. In that moment, the energy in the room shifted completely. Trump tried to regain control of the discussion, but the contrast had already been drawn. As the event moved toward closing statements, Trump delivered a confident ending, speaking about strength, leadership, and perseverance. His supporters applauded loudly. Then it was Crockett's turn. The room went quiet. She didn't mention Trump by name. Instead, she spoke about the responsibility that comes with power and influence. She emphasized that leadership isn't just about commanding attention, it's about understanding the consequences of that attention. Her tone never changed. And that consistency may have been the most powerful part of the entire night. When the debate ended, there was no shouting match and no dramatic walk-off. But something else happened. Clips of that third question began spreading across social media almost immediately. Commentators and viewers weren't debating who talked louder, they were debating who actually answered the question. Trump had entered the event confident he would dominate the stage. But by the end of the night, the story everyone was talking about wasn't his attack. It was Crockett's composure. All because of one simple question. The third one. The one that didn't look dangerous at first. The one that quietly changed the entire conversation. Because sometimes the biggest turning points don't happen through shouting. Sometimes they happen through calm and the power of a single question.